Hello! Hope you had a good weekend. We're going to kind of switch gears a little bit. We've been talking about probability, and we just got done doing the binomial theorem, which I know you guys loved. But we're going to switch gears and do some data analysis and talk about some data. Okay, so what is data? Let's start with some definitions. We're going to talk about what data is, the types of data, and then how we get and gather data. Okay, so what is data? We're going to say it's this: information gathered in order to solve a problem. Easy enough, right? Information gathered in order to solve a problem. So, oh no, hang on a second. Yellow. Hey. Yeah, that's fine. It'll take, I'm recording a video right now, so it might be like 10 or 15 minutes, but I'll let him in when he can. Okay, awesome, thanks. Sorry. Okay, so, you should have data. I'm erasing data. You can read data. Yeah, kind of. Alright, so, let's talk about how to get that data. Let me see if I can find a marker that I know you can see. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. So let's talk about the two types of data. Alright, you're going to make a chart, because you know I love my charts. Okay? And in your chart you're going to have, man, my markers are not helping you all today. Univariate, U-N-I-V-A-R-I-A-T-E, univariate, and bivariate. Okay, these are two types of data. Okay, these are the only two we're going to talk about. Univariate. What does uni mean? Uni means one. You want a unicycle. What does bi mean? Two. Bicycle. Unicycle, bicycle. What have you heard a word that starts like that? Variable. Variable, okay? So this, a univariate, deals with one variable. Deals with one variable. Okay? Bivariate deals with two variables. Remember, variables are the unknowns. It's stuff we're trying to figure out. Okay? I don't know why I do caps and lowercase. You know I'm weird. Okay, so it deals with one variable, deals with two variables. So what will we be doing with this data? So if it asks for, this stuff is like math related. Quantitative, not qualitative. So this is like, you'll find the mean, median, mode, you might find the range, stuff like that, right? So the other one, you're going to find, is there a correlation or a relationship? Relationship. Is there a cause and effect? Right? So stuff like that. So does variable 1 cause variable 2? Is there a relationship between the two? Is there a correlation between the two? Okay, so this one deals with relationships. This one does not. Okay? Then we've got, let's see, what else would you do? This one you'll see bar graphs. Okay? Now this one you can still see bar graphs, but bar graphs with we'll just put bar graphs. Bar graphs, and over here you'll see charts most of the time. Now you can see a bar graph over here. So if you had a bar graph here, it would be like, let's say it was the weight, and you have 3 subjects, right? 1, 2, 3. And these are, we'll say, the weight of boys. So boy 1 weighs this much, boy 2 weighs this much, boy 3 weighs that much, right? Versus this one, you might see a chart of, is there a correlation between boys and their weight? The age of boys. The age of the boys and their weight. So you might have a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old. And then you might have a 60, 80, 100, right? So your 2 variables are the age of the boys and the height of the boys. Age of the boys and the weight of the boys, sorry. Over here you just got a list of weights. Boy 1 weighs that much, boy 2 weighs that much, boy 3 weighs that much, right? So that's your difference. And we're going to talk more about this as we go through. I'm going to give you some examples right quick, okay? So an example of a univariate data. Univariate data would be like this. What is the average weight of teachers in our school? Teachers in our school, okay? Bivariate would look like this. Is there a relationship between, wow, that's a W, and I'm right in between. That's interesting. Between teacher weight and years of teaching. Okay, so all of these problems I'm going to give you are going to be like this. It's going to give you those 2 options. You got to figure it out. So I'll give you a question that says this: what is the average weight of teachers in our school? And you need to tell me, is it univariate or bivariate? Okay. Well, what am I dealing with? I'm just dealing with weight of teachers in our school, right? That's my only variable. I'm not saying the weight and something else. Whereas over here, what am I saying? I'm saying the teacher weight versus the years of teaching, right? So those are my 2 variables. That's what makes it bivariate. This stuff is this easy. If you see 2 things we're talking about, it's bivariate. If you see 1, it's univariate. Okay, so now that hopefully you got a grasp on that, we're going to talk about the different ways that you gather data, right? Okay. So let me erase all this. So the first way you should just completely understand, right? Because you should hear it every 4 years this happens. I think it's 4 years. I don't remember. I should know because I worked for these people. But the first way is a census. Okay? So we're gathering data. We're using the census format. Okay? When we take a census in our country, in which you count how many people there are and all the demographic stuff about them, how many people do we count? A census takes into account the entire population. When we do a census, even you are counted in the population, whether you know it or not. Okay? That's a census. So you gather information from every single person involved. In other words, if we asked, we were doing a census data gathering of, we're trying to figure out the heights of all the females in America. Well, you would literally go and ask every female in America, how tall are you? Or measure every single one of them. Okay, so that's a census. This one is very, very difficult to do because you have to round up everybody and gather information from everybody. That's why the census takes so long to do. Okay. The next version, okay, is we do a sample survey. Okay. Sample survey. So now, same question. Okay. We're going to figure out the heights of females in America. Instead of asking every female, oh my Lanta. Nope, I'm not answering it. I'm waiting. You poll a group. Wow, that's annoying. From the population. That's way 1 and way 2, right? So census is everybody. Sample surveys, you take a sample, a group of people. Okay? It's usually random. It has, because if you make it random, then it eliminates all of the bias. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so that's 2 ways. We got 2 more, and I'll leave you alone. Okay? The next way is to do an experiment. Experiment. Wow, that's a T. I don't know what's wrong with me in the mornings, especially Monday mornings. Experiment. Experiment. In an experiment, okay, you're finding a cause and effect relationship. So, you find cause and effect generally, okay, by using controls, okay? And I'm going to underline that because I'm about to tell you what a control is. When you use a control is this. So this is like a smaller version of it. A word inside this definition. A control is when the experiment, ER, sure. Experimenter controls who gets what. So here's our experiment, okay? We want to see if this peel, okay, works on, if it helps with headaches, okay? So we have a bottle of the pill that we're trying to test out, and then we have a placebo, okay? It's a fake pill. We'll talk about what a placebo is later, I guess. So you've got a placebo, and then you've got the real pill. So you choose, if this is an experiment, I choose, I'm going to give person 1 the real pill, person 2 the fake pill. Person 3 the real pill, person 4 the fake pill. So you're choosing who gets what. That's an experiment. Then you have an observational. So our 4 ways, this is our 4th one. Observational. Let me show you how they observational. Yes, study. They put observational study. Okay. So in this one, you find cause and effect still. Find cause and effect without the use of controls. Without the use of control. So now, okay, we're doing the same experiment, but instead of choosing who gets what, we put the 2 big pill bottles on the table and say, as you go in, pick a pill. You don't label them, you just have them pick them, right? So you have no control over who gets what. That is an observational study. You literally just observe. You don't put your hands in it and mess with it, you just observe. Sit back and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to let you watch a little clip from my favorite movie. Okay, my favorite movie of all time is The Matrix. Okay, and I want you to tell me, or we're going to talk about, what kind of data analysis he is doing. So let's say, what is he doing? A census? Is he doing a sample survey? Is he doing an experiment, or is he doing an observational study? Okay, so let me unmute this and dim the lights. Where'd I put the remote? There it is. Maybe. Wow. Can you see that? Oh, yes, you can. I'm turning on the light.
At last. Welcome, Neo. As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor to meet you.
No, the honor is mine. Please, come, sit. I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole?
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Okay, so what kind of study was that? Okay, I know it's a little weird. It's not exactly a true any of the four, but sorry, I'm trying to adjust the camera. If we were to pick one, which would it be? Did he force Neo to take the red pill, or did he force Neo to take the blue pill? No, he just sat back and observed which one he was going to do. So this would be an observational study. I know I've made it a long video, but I thought it was a cool clip because I love that movie. So, alright, hopefully that makes sense.